So let's go over Storyboard Pro 3D a little bit, and I'll show you some exciting things that we can do with this software. So first, I'm just going to open up a very simple example to show you a little bit of the concepts of how we work with Storyboard Pro. And then we'll go in more detail about some other cool things. And by the way, I'm using a Cintiq right now for this demo. And this is something that you'll see a lot when you go to studios that are using Storyboard Pro, because it's a lot easier to draw, particularly on a Cintiq. And storyboarding is still a lot of drawing, but now we can incorporate 3D elements to save a lot on the drawing. So, okay, so what I've got here is I've just got a very simple scene file where I've got a couple of elements. I've got this pirate ship, which is a 3D element that I've imported in, and then I've got a couple of 2D layers. And this is one of the main concepts of what we want to do with Storyboard Pro, is to integrate together 2D layers and 3D layers together to save us on the storyboarding process. Now, before I go into that, though, the first thing that we do when we talk about storyboarding is the whole concept of storyboarding is to organize a script or a story with a series of images. So when we start out a storyboard, we start out by having a script file. And then if I switch to my vertical workspace, I can load my script into the window on the right-hand side here. So you can see I've just done a very simple short script here. I've just written a couple of lines into this window over here. And when you're ready to populate the captions on the right-hand side with your script, you can simply select your text, and then you can drag and drop it into the window on the left-hand side. And it's going to copy that information in here. So now in most cases, we want to organize our storyboards to have certain captions with them. So you can see on this one, I've got the dialogue caption, I've got action notes, and I've got notes. So dialogue, of course, is going to be when the people are talking. Action notes is when there's some action. Notes I sometimes use when I'm communicating with whoever's critiquing my work. So they'll write me a note like, oh, fix this or do that, and then I'll write them back, okay, I did this, but I ran into this other issue, whatever. Then I use the notes thing down here. But you can organize these however you want. You can add captions there that they didn't have before. You can rename captions that exist there if you don't like the name of the ones that's in there. So once you have something organized, like let's just take a new panel. Let's go to the last one. Once you've got the stuff organized there, let's say I just drag some stuff in here, then you can start to draw directly on this thumbnail within this view. And this is what I like to use my brush preset toolbar for. I have a rough brush preset, which when I click on it, it automatically creates a layer named rough. And then I can draw directly in here. So I'm just going to do something really simple. Actually, what I'll do is I'll make it kind of match that other frame, but maybe he's doing something slightly different. He's going to take his hand down. And then when you get this sort of thumbnail laid out over here, it doesn't have to be that detailed. It can just be like a little bit detailed. And then you want to go back over to the drawing workspace to take that drawing and now make that drawing more fleshed out. And a couple of nice things about working with Storyboard Pro from a drawing point of view is that you do have the ability to use these textured pencils to build up upon itself. So if you are taking any sort of traditional drawing classes and you like that blue pencil feel that you get when you're drawing in your traditional drawing classes, you can still get that over here using your textured brushes. But usually what I do is I just do my roughs kind of with this textured brush, and then when I'm ready to go to my cleans, let me clean up my, I've got too many toolbars up here at the top. I'll get rid of my edit toolbar so I can see my brush presets over here. So when I'm ready to clean this up, now I can go to my clean brush, and then I can just get my regular sort of black line, and I can fill in some lines on this. And wow, it's like so much easier to do this on a Cintiq than it is to do it with a regular tablet, which is what I usually use. So I'll just do a couple of lines in here. I'm not going to do a full drawing, but let's just do a couple of squigglies or whatever. Like so. All right, something like that. So then once you get the basic line work worked out for that drawing, then you can get rid of your rough layer and you can start to do some shading on this. And you can either hide your rough layer or you can delete it. But in this case, I did the rough on the same drawing as the clean. So if I want to get them apart, I can go to select by color. And then I'm just going to click on that blue, and it's going to select all the blue, and I can cut it out of there. If I want to keep it, I can stick it on another layer and hide it for later. But some people like to keep theirs, but I don't really care about keeping it, so away it goes. So now if I'm ready to do something else on this drawing, I might want to do some shading. And if I click on a shading brush, then I can shade on here, but I might want to adjust a couple of tool properties. First, I'll turn on Draw Behind. I might turn on Enabled Texture to make it a softer brush, and I'll also adjust the size of my brush. And what's really nice about this is that you can click on the O key and resize the size of your brush on the fly. So it makes it very easy to have a visual representation of how big your brush is.